Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's me. I'm in Nesther. What do you know? Actually, I am only in here for like 20 minutes because I'm working today from home. So, work shirt on. But I'm on my lunch break, so I figured I would come out here. I'm trying to figure out, first of all, the floor is done. The floor is done. The floor is done. Yay! The floor is done. The hatches are done because it's so small in here. I don't have room for cabinets and stuff, so all of 99% of my storage is going to be under the floor. And as I get closer to done, I'm going to do like a full tour of everything that we've worked on, because right now you're not really seeing anything. Um, Couple things that I've done is I worked on my window covers, because at night when I'm in here and I've got my lights on, I don't want people can see in even if the windows are tinted, which they are very tinted on the outside. So I think I've mentioned it before. You use Reflectix, which helps with insulation, but you make them pretty. So this is what Reflectix looks like, right? It just comes in this roll, and it's thin, very, pliable, but it's got a little structure to it. So a lot of people, you see these like in, in the windshields to reflect the heat. But for privacy purposes, and it does help with insulation, what us camper people do is I made one for the big window, but it's on that side. And I will put a picture up of what it looks like installed, because I have to re-glue it. But anyway, what I did was, you stick this Reflexic, you open it up, you stick it in the window, and then you like trace around it with your finger, and it leaves the shape of what would fit in the window. And then you cut it out accordingly. So like this, see, I cut it out the shape of the window. But on this side, I put wallpaper, up down. I put my wallpaper so that when it's in the window, I'm not looking at the ugly silver. I'm looking at my pretty wallpaper that's called fauna. It might be hard to make out, but it has deer and squirrels and rabbits and trees, and it's very muted. It's like a nice taupe and like off-white. So it's really pretty. So this is what I'm looking at instead of the silver. Now on the silver part, a lot of times what people do, like if they want to be stealthy, which I'm not going to park on like the city streets and camp, but what they do is they add black material to the silver part, so that when that is facing out, it makes the window tint even darker. So you've got complete blackout looking in from the outside, and then on the inside, I'm looking at my pretty wallpaper. So I've been working on that. These are kind of tedious. They take about 2 hours each, so I'm in no rush to do the other one. What I am working on though, however, because it's important to me because it's pretty, is my live edge shelf. So this shelf right now is just sitting on, look at my lantern, look at, isn't it pretty? And it has a little thing that goes, it looks like a flame. I love it. Love it, love it. I'm all about lighting. I like a whole bunch of different little lights. So back to the shelf. The shelf is just sitting up on what is like the coffee or the cup holder, and it's just plastic up here, and it's got like a little indentation for storage, but this is not level. So as you can see, it just kind of like that. So I bought a bunch of shims, and I'm going to shim it to level. And then I'm either going to use like construction glue, because there's nothing to screw into here. This is just all like hollow plastic. So I have to find a way. There's so many things to use. There's like alien tape and construction grade Velcro. So what I think I'm going to do is get level, screw the shims to the shelf, and then adhere the shims to the plastic part using the alien tape and the construction grade Velcro. I'm not putting heavy things on that. It's just for, you know, little things, knickknacks. Yeah, toothbrush. I don't know. But it's not going to hold my pots and pans. That's not what it's up there for. It just looks nicer than what's there. So that's what I'm working on now, my Reflectix window covers and getting this shelf leveled and secured, and then I'm going to make one for that side as well. I'm waiting for delivery for my window screens, which I'll show you when I get them. Those are so that your windows can be down, but no bugs can get in. I also hung a little curtain back here. As you can see, it's really cute because I hate the way this looks, this part here. It's just bleh. It's not a nice leather. It's just this hard, very, very dark gray plastic. And this just warms it up a little bit. Still working on it. I might do some sort of cool decal. I don't really know. This was just a little cafe curtain rod. And then I used command strip hooks up under here. And then I hung it up. It's a very odd space or odd shaped structure. That's why I couldn't wallpaper it. But I'm pleased with the way it looks. It looks really cozy. It's starting to get cozy. So I think I'm going to work on the shelf tonight and just get that done because it's like the bane of my existence right now. And then I am waiting for my metal adjustable legs to build the last platform that I need behind the passenger front seat, because that's where my lounge area / bed is going. And I didn't want that connected to this main platform because I wanted to still access the storage. So we're getting there. Also on the rear differential news front. So I went there last week to the dealer to pick up my plates. And I kind of was like, they're like, hey, how you doing? And I think I told you this. And I was like, well, I'm not so good because you either don't inspect your vehicles or you inspect them and you don't disclose what's wrong with them. But my bad too, because I should know, in my line of business, I should have done a pre-purchase inspection, and I didn't because I trusted them. Lesson learned, I get it. But this is not wear and tear, like this needs brakes, this needs some work. I'm going to pay for that because I bought a 10-year-old truck. But the rear differential, that's a safety issue, and that affects the four-wheel drive, and that's why I bought this, because I need four-wheel drive. Anyway, so when I was there, I told him how displeased I was, and I kind of put the ball in their court, and he was like, I'm going to call you later with the name of a mechanic, because I said, listen, I'll buy the part, you supply a mechanic to do what it costs. No problem, they said, I'm going to call you today. Okay. Well, I waited. I didn't get a phone call. I called the next morning. I left a voicemail. I called the next day. I left a voicemail. Today, I think, is like day 5 or whatever. So I was going to call, and I said, nope, you know what? Name of dealer, review. And I went to Yelp, and I left a review. And I took ownership for my lack of, not being a good consumer and not, doing my due diligence. However, they should return phone calls, and they should, I have to return calls of dissatisfied members in my line of business. They should not leave me hanging for 5 days thinking that I'm out my purchase money and a vehicle. So I typed my nice paragraph. I gave them 1 star because I couldn't give them 0. And that's not like me. I don't do that. I'm the one that calls and I'm like, hey, I just went through your drive-thru and I just want to tell you how fabulous little Christy was. Kudos. That's what I do. I don't like leaving bad reviews. Too much negativity in this world. How's it ever? So, I put in the review. I never got a call back, so I'm out my purchase money and a vehicle. Not 20 minutes later, guess who called? Hey, this is, from, and good news. Our mechanic is back from being out of town. Sorry I didn't get back to you sooner. Give us a call back. So then I was scared to call him. I don't know why, because I'm usually not scared about stuff like that. So I waited an hour or two and I called them back. If I can have the part, I'm buying a used one. I'm not putting, I'm getting a used differential. If I can get it delivered to their mechanic, he's going to put it in for between $500 and $600. So the quote that I got on the used part was around $400, I think. Let's call it $500. If I can do this for $1,000, I am going to be thrilled. I'm going to be thrilled because it's a $3,000 job with like brand new and, mechanics charging their full $150 an hour, whatever it is. So if I can get this done and I can get it done by the 18th, I doubt that, but fingers crossed. I've just been letting go and letting God lately, and it's been working out. He never lets me down. So, yay, I'm so excited. Maybe Mark and I could drive it on the beach after all next week on our vacation somewhere. So anyway, that's it. So working on the Reflectix, going to work on that shelf once I'm off duty at work and Mom is settled in for the night. And then next is the bed platform. And then I'm getting close. Then I can really start the nitpicking, creative add-ons that I want to do. And then I can show you my running water. That's for later. Okay. Well, have a nice day. I got to get back to work. And see you later. Bye.